Hey guys, how's it going? Just thought I'd do a dual video review here of Generations and G1 Blitzwing. And as you can see, I still have the Generations Blitzwing in his box, but of course the G1 Blitzwing here is totally unleashed. Got him in robot mode. Just put him next to the side for, kind of a size comparison. And this is just a Takara reissue of G1 Blitzwing. Came out several years ago. I'll go ahead and focus in on the Takara packaging first. It's got the I think that's the Dreamwave artwork on the front. Blitzwing. We got Transformers. A little bit of more artwork there. On the back, we've got photos of some various toys. We've got Blitzwing in his 3 modes. Things that are included inside of the packaging there. And then just the other side there of the box. And the cool thing about these Japanese reissues is they actually have some stuff in addition to just the box. We got the got a little flap that opens up here. We got some artwork there. And basically we just kind of get a bunch of artwork. It's kind of like a mini, just a mini book. It's actually pretty cool. I really like this. There's a whole bunch of text in Japanese. I, of course, have no idea what any of it says. But you just, I guess those are probably some G1 episodes that he appeared in. Here on the left side, I'm not sure. On the right, we got some, looks like we got a picture of Scorponok in 6-shot there. And this folds out to a poster. And we got Optimus and Megatron on it. Good stuff. I really like that touch. Oh, and here on the inner piece we have just some photos of the toy. Looks like the original G1 box there. And that's pretty much it for the packaging on that. And that's pretty neat. I really like the packaging on those G1 reissues. Anyway, go ahead and focus in here on the Generations Blitzwing. And here we got the front. We got some artwork, obviously. Here we have him in robot mode. Turn around to the side. We got some continuation of that same artwork. On the back, we've got the got him in all 3 modes. We got a blurb about him. We got his tech specs. And finally, just some more artwork here on the other side. Now, funny thing about this is I actually ordered this bad boy from Big Bad Toy Store. It never shipped yet. And the hilarious thing is my wife actually found this thing at Walmart of all places, so I told her just to go ahead and pick them up, and I canceled my pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, and I went ahead and ordered Springer actually from Amazon because it's in stock there right now, so I ought to get that thing in, I guess, a couple of days. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up the in-package portion of these two guys. Be back in a flash to go over some of their alt modes. Alright guys, here we have G1 and Generations Blitzwing transformed into their respective jet modes. And as you can see, there's a pretty huge size difference there. I mean, obviously the Generations absolutely dwarfs the G1 Blitzwing, but that's okay. I mean, this guy's from another era, 30 years ago or so, so we're not going to judge him too harshly on that. Anyway, I'll go ahead and just, we'll focus in on the G1 Blitzwing first. And honestly, I think it's a real nice looking jet mode for this G1 guy. I really dig the way he looks. It's a nice looking jet. It's not perfect. I mean, it's a G, but for a G1 triple changer, it's nice. I mean, I really like the way the jet mode looks. I think it's fairly well done. It's not perfect, but like I said, pretty good. He's got 2 firing missiles in this mode. And to fire those, there's a little button below his wing, and they fly out with a good amount of force. And you can also, if you want, now this is the proper transformation for him, having the gun back pointed like that, but if you want, you can just lift his landing gear up, turn the tank turret around. You He's done the gun out now. He's got a big old gun he can use in jet mode, which is kind of a neat little touch. So, I mean, really, however you want to do, that's kind of up to you. Now, obviously, he won't sit too well like this, but, you know, if you want to... Well, let's try... Yeah, he still doesn't sit well like that. I mean, it's just... For display purposes, that doesn't work, but it does add a little bit of, you know, maybe play value for you, if you like that sort of thing. So, it's just something to be aware of. So, I'll go ahead and put G1 Blitzwing here off to the side, and focus here on Generations Blitzwing. And I think in this mode he looks pretty good. And you got some options with him as well. Now, one thing I didn't like about transforming him into jet mode was it was really tough to get this nose cone up over his head because his head is so large. That is kind of a pain in the butt, and it's that dreaded soft plastic that I'm not a huge fan of. But overall, I think this mode looks fairly decent. You know, it's pretty good. It doesn't peg together super well, but honestly, it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks kind of like a little bit like a Macross jet, tad bit to me. It kind of reminds me of that look a little bit. You know, but it's a little finicky, his jet mode. Now, as far as the gun thing goes, you can kind of do the same thing with Generations Blitzwing. But you got two options. You can either A, have the gun below him, and he can shoot things on the ground, or if you want, it'll actually fold up and go above him, which is kind of a neat little touch. I mean, you know, it's whatever your personal preference is, or you can just have it the standard way. Oh, there is one other thing his jet mode can do. His canopy actually opens. Well, sort of. It opens a little bit on his jet, not a lot. It actually, ironically, opens a lot more in robot mode because this piece isn't pegged into this, so it'll actually open up a lot more. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up the jet mode for these two guys. I'll be back in a flash to go over their tank modes with you. Alright guys, here we have the two Blitzwings into their respective tank modes. And we'll go ahead and focus in on G1 Blitzwing first, since he's the older original guy here. Zoom in on him a little bit. And as you can see, he's a fairly well good looking tank for a G1 triple changer. I do like this mode on him as well. You know, it's pretty simple overall, but I think it's fairly good looking. Obviously his turret can rotate, and it can actually move forward and backward some. And in addition to that, the barrel on the gun can go in or out. And that's pretty much it as far as G1 Blitzwing goes in this mode. I mean, that's it. He's just a simple G1 toy. But he's actually, you know, honestly pretty cool in my opinion. So I'll go ahead and scoot him off to the side. And here we have the Generations Blitzwing. And he looks pretty cool in tank mode. Now, I have all his weapons mounted to him because you can do that. But if you want to see what he looks like without his weapons, you can just pop these bad boys right off here. And really, how you want to display him in tank mode, I mean, that's totally a personal preference. Whether you want to have his weapons mounted to him or not. His missile does fire. It's kind of a friction force based one. You just kind of gotta pump his barrel back, and as you can see, the missile flies out. It goes, maybe a foot or so. Anyway, I'll go ahead and give you a quick 360 of Generations Blitzwing in his tank mode, and I think his tank mode looks pretty good too. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's fairly good. I do like it. It rolls fairly well, and of course the turret rotates, and it's quite large on Generations Blitzwing, and it looks pretty cool. You know, I definitely dig it. It's a nice touch, and the barrel can move up and down. And that's pretty much it with his tank mode too. Oh, one other option you have is you kind of want to have his, you can actually deploy his wings up. And I kind of like that. That looks kind of like a futuristic tank. That looks pretty cool in my opinion. I definitely like the way that looks. It looks, oh. Now unfortunately you can pop this piece here in the front. You can pop that out real easily. That's kind of a little bit of a downside of his tank mode. But overall, like I said, it's pretty good. I do like it. You know, it's nice looking. I like both of these guys in tank mode fairly well. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up their tank modes. I'll be back in a flash to go over robot mode. Alright guys, here I have the two Blitzwings transformed into robot mode. And as you can see, the size difference is especially pronounced in robot mode. I mean, the Generations Blitzwing absolutely towers over G1 Blitzwing. He looks to be at least twice his size. Anyway, I'll go ahead and we'll focus in on G1 Blitzwing first. And as you can see, he's just a kind of simple G1 toy. But honestly, I still think he looks pretty nice in robot mode. I dig him. You know, he's good looking. You know, I really like the way he holds his weapon. Oops. Only thing is, there's a little bit of a stability problem, I guess, if you're not real careful. He'll kind of topple over there. But anyway, because he's kind of back heavy. But he does stand fairly well when you don't kind of mess with him too much. And as far as posability goes, he doesn't really have much. All he really has is his arms, and they just kind of, you know, go up and down, and that's really about it as far as posability goes. But one thing I really do like on G1 Blitzwing, let me just bring him in here a little closer to the camera. I really dig his head sculpt. I think it looks real nice. You know, overall, like I said, I think he's a great looking toy. He's a really nice G1 toy, definitely worth having. I'll go ahead and kind of just put him off to the side here, and focus on his bigger brother here, the Generations Blitzwing. And as you can see, he's a Voyager-sized toy, but he's, you know, relatively large. Just give you a quick 360 of him. I do really like the way he looks in robot mode. He's quite posable, and he's got a lot of nice detail on him. There are a few complaints, though, and he's not perfect. For one, I think his gun is rather small. In fact, just do a comparison here. It's not much. These guys like to fall over. Anyway, it's not much larger than G1 Blitzwing's gun. If you can see that, they're about the same length. And honestly, for a toy of this size, that's, especially if that's supposed to be a rifle, that's pretty small. That's one complaint I got about him. And of course, some other reviewers have mentioned this in their videos, but mine has the you know, the shoulder locking problem, and I'll demonstrate that. See, it just pops right out. That's kind of a pain. I know there's a fix for it. I'm going to apply that later, see how it works. Plus, other reviewers have noted he's actually got 3 faces in robot mode. I'm not going to actually show you that because I tried to utilize that feature, and I'm just going to zoom in here on his face, kind of show you. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. Yeah, there's a little bit of a paint chip there, and that's just because I was trying to utilize that feature, and I scratched his face a little bit just trying to do that. And I'm not going to damage my toy just to show off a feature that I'm not super fond of in the first place. So, I mean, he's not a perfect figure by any means, but overall, I'd still say he's pretty good. Like I said, he is real posable. His foot can rotate, go back and forth. He's got a high bend at the knee. His knee at this hip, he goes forward, back. It doesn't go in, goes out, and he rotates at his high knee there. He doesn't have any waist rotation. once you get to, if you can ever get this shoulder thing, if you just hold it, he will rotate at the shoulders, rotate at the elbow, bend at the elbow. His wrists can move in a little bit. His head will rotate. And like I said, overall, he's pretty posable. It's not difficult at all to pose this guy. He stands pretty well for the most part, assuming you don't cause too much tremors around him, as we saw him topple over a couple times in this video. And honestly, I'd say he's definitely worth having. Both of these guys are definitely worth having in your collection. G1 Blitzwing, if you can find him for a reasonable price, you know, either him or the reissue, doesn't matter which one, because obviously the reissue is the same. And Generations Blitzwing, which you can get at a variety of online retailers right now. I've heard a few reports of him popping up in stores. I haven't seen him in a physical store yet, but I think he's out there. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this whole thing up. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you next time.